Hey everybody, just doing a quick sound check. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Turn on the video. Yeah, that's right. There's someone else in the room today. Congratulations, us. Um, okay, doing a quick check. I think we've got a good head count. Couple people trickling on in. We'll give it just a second. Hope everybody survived the snowmageddon, snowpocalypse. Welcome to the after party. Okay. Okay. I think we've got enough folks that we're gonna kick this off. It is 10:31 on a Wednesday morning. Welcome to the Cape Fear RPO's Technical Coordinating Committee, the TCC. We'll call this to order and attempt to have a slideshow. There it is. Okay, so our first item of business is I'm going to do the roll call. This is going through the voting membership. If once I get to the end, I didn't call your name, I'd ask that you put your name and affiliation in the chat so I can make sure to capture that for the meeting record. So Helen Bunch,
Here.
Mo Meehan,
Present.
Matt Kirkland, Nicole Morgan, Jeff Rep, Kelsey Hammond,
Here.
Robert Lewis,
Here.
Jason Robinson, I thought I saw Jason, maybe not. Josh Ward,
Here.
Madison Ward, Virginia Norris, Marcy Waters, Christina Burke, Ron Meredith, Jeremy Smith, Rob Taylor, Adrian Cox.
Here.
Let's see. Adrian, I see both you and Eric. Who's going to be?
I'll be presenting today.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
Philip Hart,
Here.
Nazia Sarter,
Here.
Jim Rupp Calvis, Greer Templer,
Here.
Elizabeth Tucker, Yvonne Hatcher, Joy Jacobs, Kathy Guidry, Stephanie Ayers,
Here.
and Sam Boswell is here. Okay, let me just do a quick scan. Shouldn't miss anybody. Okay. And again, if I didn't call your name, I'd ask that you put your name and affiliation in the chat. That'd be very helpful. So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. We're good to go. We have a quorum. Next item of business on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. One thing I will note, item 7, the presentation from NCDOT about confidence scope and cost estimates. That will not be happening today. I got a call from Ben this morning, had a family emergency, will not be able to attend. So we won't have that as part of the meeting today, but he is planning to give the same presentation to the TAC next week. So anybody who really wants to hear about it can tune into TAC. Might have him back at a future TCC meeting just to make sure that everybody hears about kind of this new process DOT is implementing. Otherwise, I don't have any changes to the agenda. Does anybody else have any? Are there any other corrections to be made to the agenda?
Sam, I make a motion that we approve the agenda. That change.
Okay, with that one change, thank you, Stephanie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Helen. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, I will quickly roll call. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Kelsey Hammond,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Josh Ward,
Yes.
Adrian Cox, Adrian.
Yes, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you. Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter,
Yes.
Greer Templer,
Yes.
Joy Jacobs, Joy, just saying, I don't know if you're unmuting, but I see you on the list. Stephanie Ayers
Yes.
and Sam Boswell, yes. Okay, good deal.
Hey Sam, this is Virginia. I'm here with Pender County.
Oh, excellent. Did you hear the agenda review? You vote yes?
Yes.
Good deal. Thank you.
This is Jason Robinson, Town of Chadbourne. Just got in and I vote yes too.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jason. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. The next item is approval of meeting minutes from our last meeting, which was in November, which feels like 7 years ago. Any corrections or amendments to the minutes? If not, we have a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Helen.
Second, Stephanie Ayers.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I will roll call. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Kelsey Hammond,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Jason Robinson,
Yes.
Virginia Norris,
Yes.
Adrian Cox,
Yes.
Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter,
Yes.
Greer Templer,
Yes.
Joy Jacobs.
Yes.
There you go. Thank you. Kathy Guidry.
I'm gonna have to pass this. I just came on. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Stephanie Ayers
Yes.
and Sam Boswell, yes. Good deal. All right. Next item is public comment. I did not receive any written public comment before the meeting, nor are there any members of the public in attendance here in person. Is there anybody online who wishes to make public comment at this time? Going once, going twice. Okay. Okay, the next part of our agenda is reviewing vacancies and appointments on the TCC, specifically the municipal appointments. Those are the only appointments on the TCC that are subject to specific terms, like 2-year terms. The way that we have traditionally done this in the past is it is the responsibility within each of our 3 RPO counties for those members to kind of select and approve their appointments. And so we've done that via email prior to this meeting over the last month or two. And generally, we then kind of confirm these as a part of our first TCC meeting of the year. In some cases, I'm just looking at the roll of who's here. Actually, yeah, we'll be able to do this. Okay. So, looking at Brunswick County, really not even a change, just the reappointment was for both Mo and Nicole in the municipal 2 and alternate 2 spots. Just renewing their terms, which expired at the end of 2025, renewing them for another 2 years, 26 through 27. So the way that we'll do this is of the kind of appointed members on the screen, I would ask for one of you to make a motion to approve this, and we'll second it and then do a roll call just within those county members, if that makes sense. So this is the slate of Brunswick County appointments proposed starting at the beginning of this calendar year. We have a motion to approve this.
So move.
Motion by Helen.
I'll second Nazia.
Can I actually, if it's okay, let's keep the motions and seconds within just, because I'm only going to roll call those that are on the screen.
Got it. Sorry.
No.
I'll second that, Sam.
Thanks, Mo. Sorry, it's kind of a wonky way that we do this, but that's the way Patrick used to do it, and so I've just kind of kept it going. Okay. Well, I think actually Helen and Mo are the only 2 here, so motion and seconded. Helen, you vote yes?
Yes.
And Mo?
Yes.
Awesome, wonderful. Moving along to Columbus County. The only difference here is we've got 2 alternates for the county spot, but those aren't kind of term constrained. And then similar story, the municipal 2 and alternate 2 spots renewed for the 26 to 27 term. Jason and Madison, who are both in those positions as of the end of last year. A motion to approve. Come on now. Can y'all still hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Hold on. I can't hear you anymore. Okay, what about now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. The audio in the conference room cut out, so I switched to my laptop. Sorry about that. Okay. So where was I? Yes, can I get a motion from among the Columbus County group to approve these appointments?
I make a motion to approve Robert.
Okay, Robert, can I get a second?
This is Jason, and I'll second.
Thank you, Jason. I will roll call from among those in attendance. So Kelsey Hammond,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Jason Robinson,
Yes.
and Josh Ward.
Yes.
Good deal. Did I miss anybody? Don't think so. Cool. And then last but not least, Pender County. Same story. All the appointments remain the same, just renewing the terms for Ron Meredith and Rob Taylor. If I can get a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. And then I think Marcy, you might be the only other Pender County person online at the moment.
I'm here.
Oh, and Kathy, sorry.
Yeah, I'll make a second.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So now roll call. Virginia Norris,
Yes.
Marcy Waters,
Yes.
and Kathy Gidry.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. To correct my earlier mistake, going back to the Columbus County vote, Joy Jacobs. Do you support the Columbus County appointments from municipal and
Yes.
cool? And then I also missed Jeff Walton for the Brunswick County group.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, everybody. Sorry about that. Okay, so now moving into our presentations, please excuse the outdated slide. Ben, like I mentioned, won't be joining us today. He had a family emergency, and so we'll catch up with him at another time. But I am joined in person today by Greer Templer from the Wilmington MPO. And so I'm going to hand it off to Greer for the Cape Fear Trails signage guide. And Greer, if you want, let's switch seats as we're using this mic, and you can click away
Sounds great.
on the keyboard.
Good morning, everyone. So I am here to talk to you today about a regional trail etiquette and signage guide that the WMPO has been working on since, I'd say, early to late fall of this past 2025. And so just to give a little bit of background, really what the precursor to this was hearing from our member jurisdictions about a desire to, one, encourage proper utilization of trail facilities, enforce trail etiquette where possible, just basically giving that guiding, some of the guiding policies and best practices when utilizing facilities, and then in turn, what wayfinding signage recommendations we could help produce. And so what this kind of turned into was Cape Fear Trails. So this is a regional signage guide campaign, and what we did was work together with our members to develop basically branding and different signage types that we would recommend for implementation on a trail. This is something that was done to be used as a resource. This is not anything that is required to be adopted. This is just meant to be a tool to help bring together regionally branded trail signage, because ultimately folks who are going from one jurisdiction to another may not even know they're passing those jurisdictional lines, but they do want to know, am I still on the trail facility? Is there information available about who to call for maintenance issues? You know, what types of recreational vehicles would be allowed, X, Y, and Z. And so I'm just going to kind of kick this off with, again, just talking about this overview. So it's really a twofold product. It's going to be the trail etiquette campaign, which includes a toolkit, which I'll talk about first, and again, that signage guide. And so while the majority of the recommendations and the work that we did were for wayfinding signs specifically for off-road facilities. So we're talking about shared use paths and greenways, not on-road bicycle facilities. We also included pertinent information for regulatory and warning signs as dictated by the Manual for Uniform Traffic Control Devices. So utilizing national best practices and standards, just to give it kind of a one-stop shop of if you're looking to implement not only some cool branded wayfinding signs, but how could you also effectively implement regulatory and warning signs as well. And so to begin, while we worked with our planning partners, our member jurisdictions, we also went and spoke to the public. And so what this was WMPO staff going out to 3 locations in October. So we went to 2 locations in Wilmington on the Cross City Trail, one around Empty Park and one around Autumn Hall, so more of the Eastwood Road area, as well as down in Pleasure Island on the Island Greenway in Carolina Beach at Mike Chapel Park. And so we were asking trail users what the purpose of their trips on the facilities were, what types of information that they would find most helpful on trails, and then what concerns do they currently have when utilizing trail facilities. And so for each location, we went back 3 times. We went one day, both in the morning and in the afternoon. And then we also went back the Saturday of that same week. So hoping to capture a wide range of users, different people who are using the trails for different reasons, and really just trying to seek out what the public would like to see out of this and what they feel like they need more of when on trail system facilities around the area. And so just to show what those results look like, the top 3 types of information people were hoping to see more of were maps, directions and wayfinding signage, so arrows pointing to different destinations, or just making sure that if there's a location of interest, that that's highlighted, as well as mile markers. And then the top 3 concerns would be not enough safety signs at crossing points for trail users, unsure of how to report maintenance issues, and just not knowing where the trail goes. So getting kind of lost where it's not very clear where the signed trail may end, but a facility like a multi-use path continues. So looking for additional clarity on that end. And so with our partners beginning in October and November, we worked to develop this regional brand. So this was done in a think session with planning partners. This also went through our TCC and board as well to continue refining. And so this is kind of our final product, looking at the brand. So Cape Fear Trails. And to overview the etiquette campaign, these are the trail rules and the sub rules that we work together to develop. So share the trail, no dirt bikes, ATVs, or golf carts, really focusing on trail use for people who are walking, biking, and other non-motorized users, unless it's a mobility device. Maintaining safe speeds, wheels yield to heels, so making sure to note that pedestrians come to the forefront over bicycles, scooters, and skateboards when thinking about crossing points and things like that. Keep right, pass on left, be alert. So look and listen, make sure that you stay visible, make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. This could include things as, visibility gear, making sure that you have an open ear, just trying to keep your head on a swivel and be more aware of your surroundings. Keep pets on a leash, and then leave no trace. So making sure not to litter, making sure not to leave any pet waste behind, just kind of overall best practices for how we can continue to enjoy our trail facilities and keep each other safe. And so from there, we used those trail rules to help begin developing a toolkit. And so what this toolkit would be is basically a how-to guide of how to utilize the toolkit, FAQs. We provided a draft press release, an email template, newsletter blurb, one-pager, as well as social media graphics and captions. So kind of like a one-stop shop for a more public-facing social media campaign or something to put on a website. And so some of these graphics, to the right of the screen, you'll see the one-pager. So this is kind of like, what is the campaign? What's the purpose of it? What are the rules? And then on the left, you'll see some of the social media graphics that we have developed. And so we were leaning towards something that kind of is a little cheeky, catches people's attention. And so hoping that that not only resonates with some of our younger trail users, but it catches your eye a little bit and kind of really nails home the sentiment that we want to get across of keeping each other safe on the trail. And so from there, we worked on simultaneously developing a signage guide. And so I'm just going to briefly overview the chapters. We are currently finalizing this right now. So it's going to look a little bit more refined in the future, but just to give an overview of what you will see. So beginning with the introduction, this really is just going to go over what the document looks like, what you would find in the document, and then kind of just like the table of contents of the different chapters that are sections that you would see. And again, reaffirming that for the purpose of this guide, we are talking specifically about off-road facilities. So bringing it back home that this is for greenways, shared use paths, things of that nature. And so you'll see that we have our introduction, brand standards, regulatory and warning signs, wayfinding signs and pavement markers, and then some basic implementation guidance. For the brand standards section, what you would find here is all of the details needed to help reproduce these types of signs that we will be recommending in later chapters. So you would find the logos, fonts, icons, color codes, and then information on how to develop a trail map for a sign assembly. And so while we outline the details here, we're also going to be providing basically a toolkit as well. So all of the icons will be downloadable. If you have access to Adobe, we will be providing InDesign files. Otherwise, we will be providing everything that you would need to go and take and get this produced somewhere. So just as an example of what you might see on the pages, here are our brand colors talking about the utilization of them, the hex codes, etc. So from there, we went into warning and wayfinding signs. These are really dictated by national state standards. So not as much of the branding and like the development of that, but we want, again, just wanted to make sure that if people don't necessarily have access to these big old manuals, that we've got a nice high level condensed location to have that information to easily move these things forward and to get yourself kind of up to par with what that might look like. And so moving into wayfinding signs, this is really where we get into those specially branded signs that we worked on developing for implementation across the trail system, specifically for things like confirmation. So making sure that people are aware that they're still on trail, an information kiosk, mile markers, etc. And so you will see here, this is our overall wayfinding sign family. These are all of the signs that you would find in our document. And we provide not only the overview, kind of giving the details of what each sign is, how they should be utilized, how they should be implemented. We also provide cut sheets. So when you're thinking again about reproducing this type of thing or taking this to a sign shop, what details you may need to implement. And so this is what you would see in one of the cut sheets. So it'll be for each sign type, it'll start with the overview, it'll move into the cut sheet, and that's the case for every type of sign that we have included in this. And so again, as mentioned, like it's going to just give a definition of what it is, where to use these, typical placement, so how they should be spaced, like physically on a trail system, where the best places for them to go on are, and then what's the size, what's the background color, the mounting order, etc. And so finally ending with implementation guidance. So thinking about anything needed for making sure that trails are still accessible. So like how far off of a shared use path does it need to be mounted? How far off the ground does the sign need to be on the structure supporting it, the post supporting it, as well as things such as like mileage rounding best practices for mile markers, or the gateway signs, which kind of double as a mile marker for areas where, like at a trailhead, where you'd like some more visibility. So yeah, we just tried to make sure that anything when it comes to specific signs are within that sign's cut sheet overview, and then thinking just broadly towards the implementation section of what you would need systemically when thinking about placing these signs. And so as it stands right now, our next steps are this month, we are moving through the process with our TCC and board to endorse these items. And then we will be moving into launching the Cape Fear Trails website. And so the website will hold not only all of the toolkit materials, but the signage guide and the supporting materials for signage guide implementation as well. And so we will be publishing all of that, and then we will be launching a trail etiquette campaign. So thinking about some fun merchandise that kind of link back to our trail rules. So thinking about be seen, having some visibility gear, thinking about leave no trace, what can we do to implement there? So we're really thinking of the next steps when it comes to the educational component. As it stands, obviously, the WMPO will not be implementing signs themselves or anything like that, but we will be on the forefront of making sure that this educational campaign, the trail etiquette side of things, that we're going to be completely involved, and we are also going to be supporting any member, any person who is looking to implement these recommendations within their jurisdiction. And so I'd say, does anybody have any questions?
Hi, this is Kathy. First of all, I'm just very excited. I lived in Wilmington for a very, very long time, and this is so exciting to see all the progress since I've lived there. A couple questions I had. Is there any need to differentiate between bicycles and e-bikes and e-scooters? I know that's been a big issue in some of the areas here in Pender County about whether e-bikes are allowed. That was just one question. And would that come up to somebody if they were on the trail, whether or not they could use it?
Yeah, so let me scooch back a little bit. So I know it's a little small right now, but if you see for the informational kiosk K, this would be one of the larger signs with a ton of information that you would have at like one of your major trailheads. So say a jurisdiction has a rule on e-bikes, that would be the place of which you can make sure to list that. As it stands right now with the way that e-bikes are classified, we are not in the place to be making like sweeping recommendations. We would ultimately defer to the locality of which, if they have a policy or a a statute regarding e-bikes within their jurisdiction, to have the space for them to put that on these signs where applicable. So there is local flexibility for each thing. I know that there's been work at the statewide level to begin defining e-bikes and kind of differentiating what is an actual e-bike versus what is a moped. So as it stands right now, it's just a little too broad for us to make a sweeping decision on that. But that's why we ultimately wanted to
Right.
allow for jurisdictions to have that flexibility to list, their specific rules and regulations as well.
Right, okay, thank you. And then the sign, the height of the sign, I'm not really good with heights and all that. Is someone in a wheelchair able to see those signs? I guess being 2 feet, they would be, right?
Yes, so the 2 feet would be the offset from the facility itself, so keeping it
Oh,
2
okay.
feet
Oh, I
away from the
see.
facility. So
The set-
the
High.
So the mounting height of the bottom of the sign itself has to be at least 4 feet. That's the minimum height. And really this is in compliance with ADA standards to make sure that people with mobility devices are able to effectively and easily enjoy these facilities as well. So that really links back to making sure that it is accessible to all users and making sure that putting these signs in the ground do not become a hindrance. By abiding by these federal standards, it really helps to make sure that they are grounded in making sure all users are able to utilize it and safely get around.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey Greer, this is Adrian at DOT. Just wanted to say I really appreciate you guys taking on this effort, and that we have shared the sign information with our traffic services department, so that if there are any questions that come back for a right of way, or and granted these are multi-use trails, but if there were to be any right of way questions or whatever, they would be aware of it. So just want to make sure all the jurisdictions know that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adrian. That is a wonderful point, and we're very lucky to have you at Division 3, making sure that we're all good to go and dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. So thank you for always being a great partner. And so just to end on, we will be in the next couple of days, the February packet for our TCC will be going out, and that will include the final signage guide. And so please share however you'd like to, and I'll make sure to keep everyone in the loop of what's going on and pass it to Sam.
Thanks, Greer.
Thank you.
So to further connect the dots, why we're having this presentation in RTCC today. As of right now, this is just it's information, to be aware of what our, planning partners are doing. Obviously, this is a WMPO-led product and has yet to be formally endorsed or fully endorsed by the TCC and their board. Once that is done and they've kind of got, any last minute tweaks or changes all settled, we've had discussion about whether the Cape Fear RPO, this TCC and our TAC would be interested in also endorsing this as a useful guide, kind of throughout the broader Cape Fear region. Those of you that have been around for a little while likely remember planning effort to do the Cape Fear Regional Bicycle Plan a couple years ago. And that was something that was kind of done region-wide, incorporating, not just the RPO, but into the Wilmington area, as this larger regional, kind of keeping everybody on the same page. And so some of that same idea was linked to this. And I believe this was also raised by our Pender County partners about, Pender and Brunswick are split between multiple planning organizations. And so would this be a useful guide for the entirety of their planning jurisdiction? And so those are the kind of conversations we've been having, and about, potentially endorsing this at the RPO level, just again, as a useful guide for any jurisdictions, county or municipal, that would be pursuing projects like this and want to have a resource of how to properly kind of implement signage. So that's where we're at with that discussion. I'm not asking for any recommendation or any action today, but wanted to give you all the full context of what we're looking at. With that in mind, are there any other follow-up questions on the etiquette and signage guide today?
I think it's a good project, and I certainly would like to see that discussion happen in Brunswick County. You know, we have 3 planning organizations, and I think it would have to be to put something in Brunswick County. I think it needs to be consistent throughout our county. So how we do that with 3 organizations will, I'm sure, will create some interesting conversation. But I think to do it that way would certainly make it more understandable to the general public, and that's really what it's all about with this, is giving them direction to make sure that they're in the safe areas and areas that they're supposed to be.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think all the conversations we've had have agreed with that point of ultimately this is a guide meant to be for the benefit of residents and visitors to the area. And so I want to thank the WMPO for their all the great work they put into this. And this is something that we will probably bring back and discuss at a future meeting. I'm going to give this same information to the TAC next week and see what questions they have or what thoughts they have. But yeah, I just wanted to get this on your radar, and we'll bring it back further down the road. Okay. So next on our agenda, through our presentations, we have 2 draft resolutions they're in the agenda packet that went out, posted online. This is something that we kind of revisit usually around this time of year. IMD, the Integrated Mobility Division at NCDOT, typically has a recurring grant program, the Multimodal Planning Grant Program, that opens up in the spring and accepts applications for jurisdictions pursuing either updated or new bicycle and or pedestrian plans. We've had several of these come out of the Cape Fear region in the past few years, kind of all spread across our region. And usually as part of that application package, they ask for resolutions of support from the jurisdiction, from their planning organization. And so, at least as I'm aware right now, I think Kim is online, so Kim can correct me if I missed something. I don't know of an open and close date for this grant program in 2026, but in the event that it happens before our April meetings, at least as of right now, having discussions with Chadburn and Tabor City on putting applications together. Those obviously are not final because I don't know that we have an updated application, but wanted to go ahead and kind of get ahead of the game proactively, have these resolutions of support for any application that those jurisdictions and the RPO might put together. Kim, is that correct? Is there not an opening date for this grant program yet?
Yes, currently we are not accepting applications as the grant window is not open yet. We're still trying to finalize things on our end, but it should be opening pretty soon, probably in March. But I'll email you, and I'll email a list of previous applicants just to get them aware for this next coming grant.
Awesome. That'd be fantastic. Thanks, Kim. So with that being the case, we do have our draft resolutions in the packet. I'd be happy to entertain any or answer any questions. But if there are no questions, I'd request a motion to recommend approval of those resolutions for the TAC next week.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolutions.
Awesome. That'd be fantastic. Thanks, Kim. So with that being the case, we do have our draft resolutions in the packet. I'd be happy to entertain any or answer any questions. But if there are no questions, I'd request a motion to recommend approval of those resolutions for the TAC next week.
So moved.
We have a motion by Greer. We have a second.
This is
Second.
Jason. I'm the second.
Jason, thank you. Okay, I've got a second by Jason. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, I will roll call. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Kelsey Hammond,
Yes.
Robert Lewis, I miss. Jason Robinson,
Yes.
Virginia Norris.
Yes.
I think, did I see Jeremy Smith?
Yes, sorry, I'm late.
No, you're good. You're good. No worries. Adrian Cox.
Yes, for me, this is Robert. I'm sorry, I had to take a phone call.
Oh, appreciate it, Robert. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm a
Adrian.
yes, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you. Philip Hart,
Yes.
Nazia Sarter,
Yes. Yes.
Greer Templer,
Yes.
Joy Jacobs,
Yes.
Kathy Gidry,
Yes.
Stephanie Ayers,
Yes.
and Sam Boswell. Yes. Good deal. Thanks, everybody. Next item on our agenda is another resolution of support. This one from NC State Ports Authority. And Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong. This is this is a resolution supporting. It's kind of a two-in-one, both the port's application to the build program and the PID, what was that, Port Infrastructure Development Grant Program, both through USDOT. This is one that is very similar to one that we submitted a resolution for last year, if I'm not mistaken.
We applied last year for build and PID. We're still waiting to hear if we're going to get awarded under the 25 PID program. They haven't made that announcement yet, but they have opened the 2026 build and PID for this year. So we are preparing essentially the same application with some minor changes, to the schedule. But basically what this project is it would construct a new off-terminal parking facility paired with a secure pedestrian bridge to a shuttle area. So it's really a safety issue. And Wilmington, we're one of the few ports where all of our workers actually drive to their work sites and they park their vehicles on the berth or next to warehouses or wherever their equipment happens to be. So what this project would do is it would build a parking lot off terminal where employees would go through a secure turnstile. They would go over a bridge that bridges over 6 active rail tracks to a site where there would be a shuttle van that would take them to their work site. This project is in partnership with some other projects that we've already completed. We moved all of our maintenance garages at a cost of about $9 million to be adjacent to this shuttle landing. And we are also building all of our heavy equipment parking to be adjacent to this shuttle landing. So we can take all of those private vehicles off of the terminal to make it safer for our employees and to allow more efficient movement of the heavy equipment on the port terminal.
Okay. Are there any follow-up questions? This kind of follows the general, the RPO views any improvement to the port as a benefit to the full region and kind of our connection through the transportation network here in the Cape Fear region. So we, always like to support and partner with the ports in any way that we can. And Stephanie does a good job of keeping us up to date with things. If there are no questions, then I would request a motion to recommend approval of this resolution for the TAC when they meet next week.
So
Go ahead.
It's Mo, so moved.
Okay, I got a motion from Mo. And a second.
I'll second it. It's Kathy.
Okay, and I got a second from Kathy. Good deal. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I will roll call it. Helen Bunch,
Yes.
Mo Meehan,
Yes.
Kelsey Hammond,
Yes.
Robert Lewis,
Yes.
Jason Robinson,
Yes.
Virginia Norris,
Yes.
Jeremy Smith,
Yes.
Adrian Cox,
Yes.
Philip Hart, Nazia Sarter,
Yes.
Greer Templer,
Yes.
Joy Jacobs,
Yes.
Kathy Guidry,
Yes.
Stephanie Ayers.
Pam, should I abstain?
Um, I th I think it's okay to vote on it.
Okay, yes.
And then Sam Boswell, yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. We'll have that for the TAC next week, and then I'll get you a signed copy of that following their meeting. Alrighty. That concludes I guess the business portion, our different action items. So now just a couple of different updates and reports, starting with some RPO updates. I just wanted to double check. This happened last year and it seemed like it happened again this year. I would ask that each of you verify that you received calendar invitations from me for our TCC meetings throughout this year. Sometimes when I send these out in bulk, for whatever reason, they end up not making it to half of you. And so if that is what happened, then I can forward you everything again to make sure that it's on your calendar. But just wanted to double check. I know several of you I talked to a couple weeks ago, and the calendar invites didn't come through, so I'm not sure what the deal with that was, but yeah, please check and see. And if they didn't pop up in your inbox or on your calendar, just let me know and I'll resend them to you. So yeah, I'd ask that you double check that. Secondly, you've got in your packet some STIP updates and revisions. Most of them are just various sites of rumble strips and pavement markings, as well as there's a couple of projects for some pedestrian crossing improvements on 701 bypass in Whiteville. But otherwise nothing from the past couple of months too out of the ordinary. These other two items on the staff report are, again, just kind of for your information. And we will discuss these in more depth at our April meeting. I have a draft of our PWP, that's our planning work program, basically the RPO's budget. For your review, I'll again be sending this to DOT in draft form to make sure that I'm not missing anything that's required in this. This is something we do every year, and we'll bring that back for your recommendation and for the TAC approval in April. And then the other thing is our local input point methodology for P8. This is another thing that I will be sending to DOT in draft form to make sure that everything matches up with what requirements they have. And we'll be going through it in more detail in the April meeting to kind of give you an idea of the method by which we will assign local input points to projects that we submitted. These are the same projects we submitted back in the fall. They are currently being scored. We anticipate getting their data scores late spring, early summer. And so into the summer and fall, we'll be going through this local input point assignment process. And so the methodology outlines how the RPO will approach that. And so in the event that you wanted to read through it prior to the April meeting, the draft version is in the packet. If you have any questions, of course, let me know. But I'll have a presentation ready to go in April that will explain it in a little more detail. You can think of it as I'll be reading the rule book to a board game for you. That's often how this feels to me. But anyway, if you have questions, let me know. But both of these items will come back for action in April. And that's all I have on the RPO side. Does anybody have any questions about any of those items before we move on? Nope. Okay. In that case, Stephanie, other than the grant application, do you have any updates from the ports for us?
I would, one update is we just completed a general cargo master plan. As many of you guys know, we did a lot of work over the last 5 years improving our container yard. We're refocusing our efforts on our general cargo terminals. And so we are actively developing a new strategic plan that we expect to roll out this spring in partnership with this general cargo master plan, where we're going to be refocusing on how we can improve our general cargo ports at both Wilmington and Morehead City.
Nice. We look forward to hearing more about that. Appreciate the update. We don't have anybody from the ferry division on, and I did not receive any updates ahead of time. So we'll keep rolling. Next, Adrian. Oh, and you know what? I just realized I don't have your slides in here, so I will,
okay.
if you want, you can, do you want to share your screen?
I can't, unfortunately, I don't have access to my computer today.
Okay.
So I don't have the ability to pull up. I'm just going to be reading everything if that's okay. And
Sure.
and we can share it. We can distribute the full report to everyone if afterwards.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead? I think I'll pull it up and I'll catch up to you, but you go ahead and
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
what you got.
My computer screen, my laptop's dead, so working from something else.
Yeah, the screen's an important part sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I hear. All right, so thank you, everybody. So you'll receive your update, and Sam is going to try and pull it up for us. But in the meantime, I'm going to start on the January projects and development. And I realize it's February, but we provided this report in January. And so things should be close to date. If not, if there's any need for follow-up, please just reach out to me and I'm happy to follow up with you. So we have in development projects for Division 3 represents Brunswick and New Hanover and Pender County for this update. Oh, thanks, Sam. So we have thanks, that's great. So the first projects, we have about 5 projects, I think it's five that are going to be let in 2026. The first few you'll see are numbered HS and the tip number, HE, HS. Those are indicators of HS is a highway safety project that we're working on. So the first HS project is we're contracting to have sinusoidal rumble strips added to NC 53. Sinusoidal means that those rumble strips are less noise outside of the vehicle, but noise inside the vehicle to help people from leaving the roadway. And so that's a safety project. These have been initiated by our safety program in Raleigh. They looked at crash data to determine which roads needed this mostly throughout the 14 divisions. And so this is one of those projects. So you'll see that coming. And again, that sinusoidal indicates that the noise is less to the residents, but still has its intended purpose of notifying the driver that something is going on. Did someone have a question? I'm sorry. No. Okay.
I don't think so.
The next project is a new route. This is at the Columbus Brunswick line. This is for the economic development. There is a industrial site there, industrial park, excuse me. And so we have agreed to use economic funding to help with 1.5 miles or 0.5 miles added to a roadway there. The next project is a highway safety program. We're installing a traffic signal. The next project is a bridge replacement in Pender County, as well as the next project, the BR 0174. Those are both bridge replacement projects. Sam, if you'll go to the, I'm going to skip ahead since there are projects that are part of the STIP that are listed, but I'm going to go ahead to our projects that are actually in construction right now. So those are the orange projects and the orange sheet for you all. The first one is a completed project. It's a bridge over Sandhill Creek on NC 133 River Road. And then the next project is a bridge project north of 211 over Price Creek. The next project is a bridge project over Long Creek, 210. That one's almost complete as well. And then our 5021 along 211 is about 65% complete. And I think that you'll have in the report following, Sam, if you go to the next slide. Yeah, okay, great. So these in the package you guys will receive. These are each project that is in construction. There is a detailed map of the project so that you can get some idea of where it is. In the upper left corner of this particular map page, you can see where we have offsite detour. So that's our detour set up for this project, and just gives you the information so that you can share it with other people. You have some basic comments, and you understand when the work began, the cost, who the DOT contact is, our engineer on site, and then the contract amount. And so Sam, if you'll just go through these, please. So this is another one of the bridge projects. This was an emergency repair as a result of the tropical storm, Cyclone 8, that we had to make repairs on this project. Next project, please. Another bridge project, 5156 over Long Creek on 210. Next project, please. And then the 211 project from Southport, and the 211 widening midway to NC 87. Okay, and then the next page, please. So these projects are resurfacing and maintenance projects. They're various locations throughout Division 3. It seems like there's when we changed it over to a PDF, we may have had some, I don't know, something picked up on that third project. But anyway, so we've completed the first project. So this will be coming off the sheet. Various locations throughout Onslow and Pender. That's complete as well, coming off the sheet. And then I have 40 mile marker 420 to 408 at NC 210 is about 78% complete. The bridge preservation over the Intercoastal Waterway. So that's repairing lighting along the Surf City Bridge. We had problems getting that contractor available with the correct materials. So that took a little bit longer to get put in place, but that contract is about 20% complete and is continuing. And then the last project are, again, secondary roads along NC 87 and other sections in Brunswick County. A lot of times they'll take a break in between the weather because of weather and thermoplasty. So that's why that project is probably not quite complete just yet. And Sam, if you'll go to the next slide, please. We have additional locations throughout Pender County, Brunswick County, and those are lesser except for the second project, our contract DC 00467. Again, probably on hold because of weather conditions of on-call contracts. Next slide, please. This is available to everyone if you ever have questions about our 5-year capital improvement program for our highway maintenance improvement program. The current years are 26 through 30. The years are indicated by color, and you'll see those lines on the map. And sometimes we add or reduce that capital improvement program based on existing conditions when we go out to the sites, or from citizens calling in to ask us about when we can do upgrades. The next slide, please. And lastly, DOT would like to make sure that we are making sure all of our partners are aware of our resources. So we're trying to feature a different resource at each of our meetings. This particular resource are NCDOT guides for elected officials or residents. We really recommend that you share these. I think Sam has shared these on the Cape Fear RPO as a resource to you all, so you can get the links and print these or share through email with your different constituents, elected officials, so that they're aware of the general process of how roads are built, how the STIP process shares public involvement. And then as a caveat at the end, we do say, as an elected official or even a resident, did things go your way? Maybe not, but stay involved, because you're part of the process and we want people's involvement. And when we say it doesn't go your way, it doesn't necessarily mean that a project will go away. If a group doesn't support it, it may be all the way through the process, or it's just an idea of how DOT operates through the planning process as developed by many laws, to be honest. The STIP process is a law-guided process, as well as how we do public involvement and participate in public involvement with our partners and planning organizations. So I hope that you find that helpful, and we'll share those resources with your constituents, and even feature as Sam has on your website. Thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take those.
Thanks, Adrian.
I have a question. Back on the CFRPO January projects in development, how, when you say in development, what do you exactly mean?
That DOT is working out. So all these projects are in the STIP. They have been they've been authorized by the Board of Transportation to be part of the STIP. Each project needs to have preliminary engineering, right-of-way, utilities taken care of, and then they're let. And that means they're going to construction, and that we've put them out for contract bid. That's what the let date is intended to indicate. So that's what's happening behind the scenes. Is your STIP will tell you when right-of-way should be acquired, what year, when utilities will be taken care of, and a lot of that is having them moved or adjusted locations, and then the let date.
Okay. I would just ask on the tip 52076, which is the reduced conflict project at the intersection of 17 and Governor's Road and Green Hill. We are having weekly accidents there, and I just would like for Mr. Harding to be aware of that and to stay on top of accident reports, because there's obviously some real problems at that intersection based upon the number of accidents that we're having.
Helen,
Right.
which tip
And
number did you say that was?
That's 57. So it's not an actual tip number. It was brought to our attention. If you'll go to the second page, Sam. I'm sorry, maybe the.
Oh, wait. Oh, it was on the first one. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the second from the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
And that is not a typical tip number. We did have that arise. That became a project because of those crashes and incidents. Good. Yeah, so we've added that project to the STIP. That did not go through the typical STIP process. We added that as a high. What's the best word?
Like a high frequency crash location.
Yeah, that needed safety additions to it. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Good deal.
And then just so you know, Helen, the time for the let is based on everything that we have to do in development to get it ready to go to contract. And so
Right.
that is the development of the preliminary engineering plans, that right-of-way acquisition, the utilities that may need to be moved, and then we'll go to construction. And so right now that is set for 2027 in April.
Yeah, we've got a lot of development out in that area that is attributing to what plus I think a sand mine that might be contributing construction traffic to that whole area. So that one is pretty critical for us right now. Getting a lot of calls about that one.
Great, and you can share with everyone that we've added it to the step. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good deal. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, Helen. Does anybody else have any questions for Division 3? Hearing none, we will move on. And the next is our similar report, but from our friends in Division 6.
All right. Good morning, all. This basically encompasses the Columbus County area, or District 3 of Division 6. So with that, just providing a little map illustration of the boundary of Cape Fear, RPO. We're kind of over there near the Lake Waccamaw area to the west. So we'll go ahead and kind of jump into it. Our next slide is our R-2561CA. This is a conversion from an at-grade intersection to an interchange along NC 87. It kind of got some project notes there to the right, just kind of calling out the various characteristics of the project and some of the ongoing work there. We are at 67% complete as of January. Traffic has shifted to the new lanes. The contractor is working to complete the last bridge on the project before March. And from there, the grading and final paving would be looked to be completed in the summer of 26. Or maybe I should say started in the summer of 26 and hopefully completed. We do have a revised completion date up at the top right of February of 27. So we're hoping to have that done before that date. So our next project on the list is our HI 0018. This is our interstate, or I would say highway maintenance. It's US 74, future I-74. We're rehabbing some of the pavement and bridges in Columbus County along that corridor. We're currently 66% complete. The estimated completion there is December of 27. The bridge rehab work will continue through the winter, and then the paving will resume in the spring of 26. Our next project is there we go. Is located both in Robeson and Columbus counties. The majority of work is going on in Robeson County, but there is a small section of Columbus. Again, this pavement and bridge rehab. We're roughly 20% complete on that. So we'll be looking to get that work kind of started up as we move into the spring and summer of 26. So again, we're 20% with that, and we'll go to our next project. This was kind of located near the Columbus-Brunswick County line. As you can tell by the vicinity map, the project was let. However, there was some conflicts identified that has delayed the start of construction there. There's some I would say meetings taking place to kind of help facilitate and identify the new start date in regards to that. a lot of the contact and notifications were sent out, and we have recontacted those folks and made them aware of that delayed start. And prior to the construction actually starting, we'll re-notify those folks again. So looking to get a little more as time goes by here on this one. Our next project is we're noting 30% completion here, but it was, I would say, several improvement projects related to signal work was kind of combined and led into as one project or one contract. So even though we're reflecting 30% on this, there hasn't been no work completed in Columbus County at this time. But this location is in Chadbourn at NC 410 at Brown Street, First Avenue. So it does have a completion date in March of 26. So hopefully we'll be pretty close to being complete on this one by our next meeting. Excuse me. The remainder of the report is just tables, kind of identifying what we have active or under contract that has been let. We're seeing a lot of zeros there, but a lot of those were just recently let. So really the only update there is that the DF 00501, we're at roughly 50% complete on it. I believe they're kind of waiting to pick up that work as weather improves, but it does have a completion date of March of 26. So I don't feel like it will take long to get completion on that project. Our next slide is just our future projects for the area or for Columbus County. We've got a lot of what we call highway maintenance improvement projects where we're resurfacing, crack sealing, some bridge replacements, rehab work, things of that nature, minor widening. And then there's some corridor type projects in here as well. So let information there is in the column to the right. And with that, I'll take any questions or you're more than welcome to follow up with me. My contact information is at the bottom, and I'll pause there. Thank you.
Thanks, Philip. Does anybody have any questions for Philip for Division 6?
I learned a new word today. I'd never heard the word sinusoidal, so I looked it up. That's interesting. Thanks, Philip.
All right. Thank you.
We love expanding our vocabulary in the RPO world. Thanks, Philip. Appreciate updates from Division 6. Next is updates from TPD.
Thanks,
Nadia, do you have
Sam.
anything for us?
Yeah, I do. A few updates. So for the Columbus County Comprehensive Transportation Plan, as many of you may know, the CTP was adopted end of last year by all agencies and the NCDOT Board of Transportation and endorsed by this RPO. Right now, the TPD engineers are closing out the study and they plan to mail out paper copies of the report to all the adopting agencies and partners. And the report can be found on our Connect site. I have a link to it on the updates if anyone wants to go to it and look at it. And then Pender County CTP is still underway. We have been working on creating the report and the projects. The steering committee met for, I would say, about 9 months or so to create the document. And now we're just putting it together for internal review, steering committee review, before we go out to the public for those public input sessions. And then the Wilmington travel demand model was adopted end of October, along with the Wilmington MPO's MTP. I also included a link to the MTP on the updates if anyone's interested. And then finally, functional classifications. As many of you are aware, the statewide functional classification requests were submitted last year. They have been approved by FHWA as of December of last year. And the approval letters and final data sets were sent to the MPOs and RPOs by NCDOT TPD on behalf of FHWA. That's all I have. If anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Nazia. Anybody have any questions for Nazia for TPD? Seeing none. Oh, clicker. There we go. Kim from IMD, do you have, I know we talked about multimodal planning grants earlier. Do you have any other updates from IMD for us today?
Yeah, just regarding the multimodal planning grants, I appreciate you, Sam, being a champion for the Cape Fear RPO. I don't think I've got so much support from any other MPO or RPO for our multimodal planning grants, and it really shows. Last year we had way a lot of applicants, and we weren't able to grant all of them. So I am excited to have Cape Fear apply again this year. Um, of the ones that we've completed for Cape Fear, we're still in the process of wrapping things up with Southport and Oak Island. Those were completed or in the process of being completed recently. And whenever we do open up those grant applications, I'll be sure to send out an email. Um, as far as the grants that are open right now, we have our bicycle helmet initiative that's open right now. That is a grant for free bicycle helmets for communities to distribute to low-income children or children in their community. So that is open until February 20th. And all local governments or nonprofits, schools, churches are welcome to apply. So if you know any schools or local governments that are interested in having a bicycle helmet distribution day, um, please feel free to apply. And I believe that's all the updates that I have.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim. Any questions for Kim and IMD? I know their bicycle helmet initiative, I've seen a lot of good feedback and success. I believe Wilmington MPO has been involved in that frequently. Before coming down here, the COG that I used to work at would apply for helmets each year, and that's been a great program that's benefited a lot of communities. So if any of your jurisdictions have interest in that, let me know and we'll put something together. Okay. Greer, do you have additional updates for us from friends at the Wilmington MPO?
Thanks. Similar to you guys, we are stepping through the prioritization 8.0 process, including looking over our local input point methodology and making any necessary revisions, getting ready for scores to start coming out this summer into the fall. And we are currently underway with phase 2 of our Safe Streets and Roads for All Safety Action Plan. Our community engagement this time is focusing on the draft priority projects, and then come late spring, early summer, we'll be coming back with a draft plan. And then I guess our biggest thing is that our Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee has now been renamed. So it is now the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. And really, this isn't going to change the structure of the committee whatsoever, but just really wanting to encourage that this is for all types of micromobility, all types of active transportation. So just giving it a little bit of a refresh to bring it more full circle with the current trends regarding like micromobility transportation. So that's the big stuff for me. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Good deal. Thanks, Greer. And then I think, oh, wait, what? Clicking. There we go. Elizabeth, are you online with us now?
Yep. I'm sorry, I was late.
Oh, you're totally fine. How's the world in GSATs?
Well, we're kind of in the, I always have empathy for WMPO too when we're talking about the P8 thing. So getting into spot, but we have also been awarded the an implementation award with Safe Streets. So we're going to be embarking on that pretty soon. It always takes a little while to get the grant agreement from Federal Highway, but we're excited to see kind of the fruits of the labor from our safety action plan actually turn into approved projects for implementation. So that's very gratifying. So so we're in pretty good shape.
That's awesome. That's great to hear about the implementation.
Thanks.
Yeah, excited to see what comes from that. All right. Those were the last of our reports. I will admit, full disclosure, after Stephanie brought up sinusoidal again, I also looked it up, and instead of rumble strips, they said you can call them mumble strips, which I can appreciate the play on words there. So shout out to the sinusoidal mumble strips. Are there any other questions, any other points of discussion for the good of the group today? Okay, hearing none. It is 11:51 and we are adjourned. Our next meeting will be in April. Again, please check your calendars if those didn't make it to you. Let me know and I will resend them. But otherwise, I appreciate you all. Thanks for joining, and I hope you have a good rest of your day and your week.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.